Hey, Mud Squad, welcome back to another topic video. Today's topic, 17 killer strategies for never giving up. But before we get started, please go down below, hit the subscription button and bell so you know when I post a new video, premiere, or live stream. Also like, share, and subscribe. So today's topic, 17 killer strategies for never giving up. Most things aren't impossible. Most people just give up too soon. The number one reason people don't get what they want is because they give up too soon. That's true. That's a true stat that, you know, I just made up. No, not really. But I would venture to guess it's not far off. You've probably given up on lots of things before. You didn't get the first job you wanted, so you gave up. The first business you started working on failed, so you gave up. The first time you went out for a run, you puked, so you gave up. The first time you sent in a writing piece, you got turned down, so you gave up. It could be anything, but chances are, whatever it is, it boiled down to this. You didn't get what you wanted right away, so you gave up. You called it in, you packed it up, and you headed home. Stop giving up. Perseverance, next to ability, adaptability is the most important skill you can have. And it's just like a skill, like any other skill in the world. You might be born with a more natural ability to persevere than others, but you can learn to stick with things and persevere if you want to. In fact, the one thing that sets people I know who succeed in a long run over the people who don't is the ability to persevere, keeping going and never giving up. The goal of these tips is to get you to stop giving up. Likely, like everything, not giving up is a skill you can learn. Here's some strategies if you never give up, if the strategies for never giving up to help you next time you just want to quit. Go work out. A long run can clear your mind in ways that few other things can. Same with a solid session of throwing around a lot of heavy weight. Get moving. Go do something different. Push yourself physically. The best way to get past imaginary limits is to make them as physical as possible and then physically smash them into pieces. When you do that, it reminds you that the limits that seem so real in your mind aren't really real at all. When you're in the weight room, the iron never lies. It shows you exactly who you are and that with solid hard work, you can overcome something you used to think was impossible to do. The iron never lies to you. You can walk outside and listen to all kinds of talk. Get told that you're a god or you're a total piece of work. The iron will always kick you the real deal. The iron is the great reference point, the all-knowing perspective giver. Always there like a beacon in the pitch black. I found the iron to be my greatest friend. It never freaks out on me, never runs. Friends may come and go, but 200 pounds is always 200 pounds. Um, Henry Rollins, Iron and the Soul, is who wrote that. Um, Watch someone do something impossible. What can you do? You're just a little tiny person on earth. Good thing people are capable of doing incredible things. When it feels like you can't do anything, it can be helpful to be reminded by others who have done amazing things despite the annoying hindrance of being merely human. Once a person can start a movement that changes a country, one person went from getting cut from his high school team to the greatest basketball player ever. One person helped start Apple, the world's most valuable company. Everything around you that you call life was made up by people who are smarter than you. That was said by Steve Jobs. Um, Go watch someone do something impossible, then go do something impossible yourself. One person could change the world. Be that person. Listen to your go-to song. Everyone needs a good pump up song. I don't really listen to a whole lot of music other than maybe country. Um, you know, much when I'm working out, but I do need that help to get out the door. Finding something that works for you when things start getting hard, pump up the music, put on your headphones, and get after it. This is, I have a few country songs that, get me pumped up when I need to. Climb a mountain. Sometimes the real reason for quitting this is a complete lack of belief that you can actually do the impossible. Show yourself that you can actually do it. Go do something ridiculously hard and don't tell anyone. Climb a mountain and tell no one. Remind yourself that what you're capable of and keep going. I have no mountains near me, so that's, I have to build a mountain. Find a door and go through it. Um, there's a video from David Goggins. Um, it's an inspirational video. Things I've never seen. If you've never seen it, go watch it. Now you can go look it up. David Goggins, Goggins. David's an ultra marathoner. And in the video, he describes that throughout certain parts of the race, um, you feel like giving up when you hit a wall. But the wall isn't the problem. The problem is giving up. When you hit the wall, it's not the end of the road. You have to keep going, go parallel right and parallel left until you find a door in the wall. Once you find that door, you can either give up or keep going. If you want to finish, you have to open that door. When you do, your mind resets and you break through the wall and you keep going. Find the door, open it, and keep going. Be honest with yourself. Sometimes you need to lock yourself in a room and scream at the top of your lungs, "This sucks." Do that until you turn purple. Um, got that got that out of your system? Good. Then go back to work. Find someone to call you out. Sometimes you have legitimate reasons for wanting to quit. Lots of times you're simply making up excuses for when things get hard. Find someone who'd going who'd going to call you out when you start coming up with excuses. Someone that's going to call you on your BS. Lots of friends want to be encouraging, and they do it in the nicest way possible. But unfortunately, nice isn't always a good thing. Honest friends help honest friends, people who tell you what you need to hear, whether you like it or not, are rare. And while it's nice to be coddled, sometimes you need to be called out. If you need someone to call you out, you know, you can find someone that you can email. You know, you can get on an email list for no BS call outs directly, to your inbox. Wallow. Sit around, put your head in your hands, curl up in a ball, cry, feel bad for yourself, do whatever you have to do. Wallow and throw yourself a pity party. But, and this is important, give yourself a time limit for wallowing. You cannot wallow forever. Give yourself a set time to wallow, preferably not over 24 hours, and then get back to it and do something. Think about why. Ask yourself, why are you doing this again? You should have a really good reason. Otherwise, pause, take a break, figure it out, then keep going. Just quit. You don't have to finish everything. If you're doing the wrong thing, you should be quitting. But you need to quit the right things, not everything. If you quit everything, you'll either need to get better at choosing what to start, or learn to adapt and persevere more. It's also good to note that quitting an activity doesn't mean quitting altogether and giving up. If you quit something, do it because you need to focus on something else or do something better. Don't simply quit because it's easy thing to do. Quit because you're quitting for the right thing. Tree counting. Whether I do a long distance race, there's always a point where you want to stop. When that happens, I start counting trees. Okay, this person's. How it works is that while running, you pick out a tree 50 yards in front of you and tell yourself to keep counting till that tree. As soon as you hit the next tree, pick another tree out and keep going. Repeat as necessary. Take cold showers. If you want to give up because you're afraid to take the next step, take 30 days of cold showers, shower therapy, and get used to stepping into something you're scared of, and realize that it's never as bad as you imagine it to be. Okay, I don't think I could take a no. I don't. I don't like a lot of cold water. Forget about it. You got rejected, turned down, or met some other minor setback. Forget about it. Literally, just forget about it. Move on to something else instead and put it out of your mind. In my mind, sometimes I think things were really, really easy because looking back on things, I tend to forget all the hard parts. I look at whatever I did and think, well, that wasn't hard. Of course, it wasn't now that you're done with it. But there were a ton of times along the way that things were difficult, but I just put them out of my head. It turns out I have a very short-term memory. Sometimes I do. Um, of all the times I've screwed up, failed, and been rejected, it's easy to put that stuff out of your mind. It's not that they didn't happen. It's just that I didn't let them stop me. I put them out of my mind and kept going with whatever added wisdom I picked up from that experience. And this is just an example of something that happened to a person that was reading this article. They left. This is, for example, when I first started writing online, I sent a bunch of samples to a few blogs that I thought were great, only to get rejected time after time. I'd spend a week on an article only to get no thanks back from a blog that I thought was amazing. So I quit, packed up my laptop, ran to my room, cried for a few months, and never wrote another thing again, right? Well, actually, I just made my own site and started writing, and I still wasn't any good. I was bad when I started, really bad. But I've gotten less and less bad as time goes on. As I improved, I realized these sites that I thought were amazing weren't that amazing after all. They were good and they were right. The piece I sent them wasn't great, but they weren't blogging gods. And their judgment of whether I was at the time didn't mean I couldn't improve and get better. I still get rejected all the time, but I keep things going. If you're facing a setback, rejection, or failure, sometimes it's easy to turn your short-term memory into and continue always. Anyways, I had that happen with some of my earlier YouTube videos. They just didn't get the traction or the views that I thought they should have. But I kept persevering and going on. Reframe your story. Reframing your story is one of the most powerful things you can do. Rethink the lens you're looking at your life through. Instead of worrying about the struggles you're in the midst of, remind yourself you're a character in a story. Characters experience conflict, and the conflict you're going through is a part of what's going to make your story so great in the end. Your content's current circumstances are not final outcomes. Your circumstances define the conflict, but not the final result. The harder you struggle, the greater the story, the more triumphant it is in the end when you overcome the conflict and find yourself immersed in. You find yourself immersed in. Whether other people give up, you keep going and remember that there's more to the story than what you're experiencing right now. Keep your head up. The crap you're going to go the crap you're going through seems to so immersed because you're focused looking directly into and analyzing every piece of crap that flies your way. When you raise your head up, you look behind the mess you're stuck in right now and see the bigger picture. And sometimes that's all you need. Keeping your head up allows you to see the simple solution to a problem that you used to think was ridiculously complex. 16, realize you get to do this. You get the opportunity to do this, to be able to change your life, try something impossible, and actually do it. There are people all over the world that don't get the opportunity to do this. It sounds ridiculous, but there are people throughout the world that would kill to deal with the pain and agony of, starting their own business, being healthy enough to run a marathon, or the freedom to choose what job they want to spend their life doing. Realizing that most of the world doesn't get the opportunity to do the opportunities you do lets you take advantage of the ones you have rather than complaining about how difficult they may seem. And last but not least, make quitting not an option. Just decide that you're not going to quit. There's no effect. There is so, yeah, this is so effective and so simple, but hardly anyone does it. Just decide you're not going to quit, no matter what, period. End of story. If you get punched in the face, keep going. If you go bankrupt, suck it up. Suck it up, suck it back. Up and keep going. If you get laughed at, mocked, or pushed down, just get back up. Get back at it. Keep going. Be relentless. And this is a Japanese proverb. Fall down 7 times, get up 8. Decide that quitting is not an option. No matter how many times you fail, it won't be an option. There you go. 17 strategies for persevering and not giving up. Now go do something impossible and don't quit. Did I miss anything? Any strategies that work for you that you'd like to add? Leave them below. If you like this video, please go down below, hit the subscription button and bell so you know when I post a new video, premiere, or live stream. Also, like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next video.